Now mind you, nobody hates the New Age crap more than me. It attracts the scum of the earth like David Icke and his like, where, they believe in faggot, rainbow-winged, godlike celestials that'll come and enlighten everybody. Because, human beings are so much better than they were in the Dark Ages. Okay, we don't crucify people. We don't hang people on ropes because of, infidelity. We just, torment people their whole lives, and they slave away, toiling the fields, or doing whatever the fuck it is they do until they drop dead. That's so much better. But, I do believe that there is a matrix-like system to humanity. I do not believe we are in an artificial simulation, but I do believe that humanity is a collective mind. What I mean by that is I believe that we exist somewhere in between reality and metaphysical identity, and quantum fluctuation. Schrodinger's cat. Look it up. The Schrodinger's cat theory is that a cat is both living and dead if it's in a box, sealed away, and nobody knows about it. If a tree falls and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a noise? That kind of concept. So Schrodinger's cat says that it is both alive and dead until someone else from the outside is able to validate it as such. Then it becomes alive or dead. Humanity is the same way. Since humanity exists in a vacuum, humanity is both alive and dead until something from the outside can observe it and see otherwise. I come to this conclusion because it makes no sense for people to be alive. It makes no sense for people to be alive because with all the asteroids, all the super earthquakes, the super volcanoes, all this other shit that could go on, killing millions and millions of people, all the wars, all the crimes, all the diseases, the murders, and the fact that people are pretty easy to kill when you think about it. You stab someone with a sharp stick and they'll probably die. It makes no sense for there to be 7+ billion fucking people on the planet, especially in these poorer countries where an infection is a life or death situation. Things we consider to be practically laughable, like the common cold, could turn into something detrimental in some areas, and yet there's so many fucking people. So, to me, the logical explanation is a psychic minefield, kind of like the orcs in Warhammer 40k, that all exist within the confines of the psychic field known as the Waaagh. And human beings have their own Waaagh. And it's, instead of relying on fighting and masculinity and big guns and more Daka, they rely on dickery. They rely on lying, cheating, murdering, and being scumbags in general as their general practice of their collective psychic field. Occasionally, you get the big Daka boss. I forget what they call that in orc tongue. Warhammer 40k has some leaders that are the big boss. But essentially, there are people that overcome this psychic field and have a semblance of individuality. These people shape the psychic minefield and tilt us in one direction or another. Only slightly, because, they are but one man, and they have to grasp that infinite spectrum of psychic mind, and that is difficult to do. Many religions throughout history have suggested this. Jehovah's Witnesses, Freemasons, to a lesser extent, Jewish Kabbalah. It is a pretty common idea of spiritual alchemy shaping the very psyche of humanity and bending it to your will. It's not as direct or as flamboyant as, say, the Jedi, where these are not the droids you seek, but people do it every day. People use the force of their personality to bend other people's will to their own. They do it through intimidation. They do it through oratory. They do it through charm. They do it through just lying through their teeth. People use different methods to bend other people. And sometimes it works better than other times. Some people can get mass quantities of people to bend to their will. Some people are content with just manipulating a spouse and beating the shit out of them every day, but for some reason they stick around. Like I said, it's not as simple as to suggest we're fucking Jedis. But what I am suggesting is that there is some truth to it. There is some truth to the idea that people exist in a psychosomatic influx, in waves, you could say, and that some people can control the tides of these waves, and that, that's the way things are, and that there isn't enough people with that individual power to move the waves in accordance to a positive outcome. Partially because people with individuality feel no obligation to the collective mind because they're all stupid fucking goyim. And partially due to the fact that by the time they come to terms with their individuality, they are probably very bitter and very angry that the world around them is fucking evil. So, those are two reasons. Another reason is because human beings are generally evil, that does not, you don't stop being evil just because you become self-aware. There are a multitude of explanations for why people with power and people with the force of personality still are big dicks. They're just big dicks in leader positions. They're still just big dicks, but smarter dicks. But that's generally how it goes down. There are people that can control the tides of humanity as an ocean, but they have not evolved yet themselves to be positive benders of reality. And there's no amount of listening to the likes of David Icke or Alex Jones or Godlike Productions that's going to change that, because they are dicks too. If they weren't dicks, they would not feel the need to ban you. They would not feel the need to call everyone that disagrees with them or tells them they're a fucking moron, that they're a government agent, they're a shill, they're Illuminati, they're, demons or some bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. Maybe they are a government agent. Maybe they are Illuminati. Maybe they are shills, demons, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. The point is, you yourself have the ability to stand up for something. You can stand up for righteousness, or you can just be a peon. And they choose to be a peon. How hard is it to let people have their freedom of speech? Who are they hurting? Are you afraid of them having that psychic potential? Are you afraid that possibly someone that does not agree with you has more force of personality than you and might usurp you of your cult? That's what they have, is a cult. David Icke is a cult. Alex Jones is a cult. They appeal to hundreds and thousands of people, if not more, and they hang on their every word, and they believe everything they say. To me, that's a cult leader. I don't see what could be a better example of a cult leader. They might not be making them drink cyanide punch. They might not be making them, bow down and leave their families and wear white robes, but they're a fucking cult leader. So, what are you going to do with your force of personality? Are you going to use it to fluctuate this species to a more positive vibration or to a more negative vibration? And David Icke and his kin would accuse me of trying to manipulate people into a more negative vibration, but they're lying. I have no desire to see things get any more negative. That's why I like hearing about earthquakes and volcano eruptions and plagues and poverty and famines. It makes my day. That's my doom porn, as I call it. You know why I call it doom porn? Because every time I hear some shit like that on the news, someone got murdered today. Bow, chicka, bow, bow, wow, wow, wow. Because people are evil. I don't want there to be evil. Evil makes me sick. I see it every day. And there's no end to it. It is an infinite abyss of black and death and sickness and psychosis. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And I wish I had more force of personality to deviate from that, to distance myself from that blackness. But it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem like it's in the cards for me to do that. For every one person that listens to me and takes what I say seriously and learns something from it, there are 100 more people that either completely ignore me or continue on their evil path and being dickheads and not respecting anybody, not even themselves. I'm not asking for fucking miracles here. I am just saying I have a right to say what I want to say, where I want to say it. Ooh, I'm really breaking boundaries there. The idea that people can say what they want to say, wherever. That's so radical. That's so out there, man. That is so... The world will entirely collapse. You know, Australia's water systems will start turning clockwise instead of counterclockwise. The fucking Earth's polarity will completely reverse because someone can say the fuck they want to say anywhere, including an internet forum. Really, you know? So, that's what pisses me off. That something so small, you cannot give up. You have to cling to the tyranny. You have to cling to be able to have this circle jerk where the moderators are like kings and everyone's supposed to jack them off and not tell them that they're naked, waltzing down the street, waving their dick around. You know, and if I don't like it, I should make my own forum. Rather than, you know, try to make the world a better place. Try to bend humanity to respecting freedom of speech. And respecting people's right to be who they are and not be ashamed of it. You know, we talk about that all the time. Oh, fucking Lady Gaga can make fucking $1 billion to wave her titties around. And you were born this way, baby. But, you know, I say, hey, you have the right to say whatever ignoramus shit comes to mind. And I have a right to tell you that you're a dumbass faggot. But no. That's too blatant. That's too obvious. No, we have to give this big rhetoric about how people are born this way, and, you know, you have the right to be who you are, and you should not be ashamed of what you are, blah, 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 and not mean it at all. You know, say one thing, do something else completely. Everybody's ashamed of themselves. Everybody lives in secrecy about their own drug of choice and about how, you know, they believe something, but they're not quite confident enough in it to say it out loud. And shit like that. Everyone's down on themselves. Everyone has confidence issues. Everyone thinks they're fucking too, you know, beta. They don't make good grades. They're overweight. They're this and they're that. And, you know, they literally feel like they are worthless. And in turn are worthless. If you're fucking letting David Icke tell you what the fuck to do, you are worthless. Because if you're gonna fucking let David Icke, the fucking quack who had a nervous breakdown and is abusing his kids and believes in fucking faggot, rainbow-winged, you know, craft world Eldar flying around, enlightening the masses, but meanwhile people are just as big of dicks as ever. If you're going to listen to that yahoo and let him tell you what you can and cannot say, then indeed you are worthless. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to try to bend the fluctuation of morality and human beings to something better? Or are you going to sit there and swim with the tides and let the current take you? Even fucking salmon fight the current. Fucking fish that have the brains the size of a pea and can only have the most basic impulses of eat, shit, and fuck fight the current because they want to live. They want to aspire to something greater. Their existence is solely to fight that current and to procreate and to be plentiful. Salmon are more pure and righteous than you are. And yet we have the nerve to eat them. You know? I would rather hang with salmon. I would rather associate with salmon than man. And salmon have more humanity in them than mankind, which says something about us. Maybe that's why we believe in evolution so vehemently. Because we find it hard to believe that mankind is special when fucking animals show more dignity and more spiritual evolution than man does. You know, we might have opposable thumbs, we might have tangible speech, we might have gone to the moon, but we are by no means evolved. And, you know, that's sad. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. You know, we have self-consciousness, we have the ability to think for ourselves and to rationalize things and to think in depth and see a three-dimensional cube and actually fathom those dimensions and work beyond it and study and articulate and, you know, strive to understand dimensions beyond that which we can actually perceive, and yet we're just accepting life the way it is. We accept the fact that our lives are unappreciated and we work ourselves to death for nothing at all. We accept the fact that we have to go to work every day and work 8 hours a day and yet pay for everything. It's not enough that we work. No, we gotta pay for the mortgage. We gotta pay for the electricity. We gotta pay for the food to eat and the heat to keep us alive. Because people would rather see other people freeze to death, starve to death, and just be out on the fucking street than suggest that there might be something more to life. Than to suggest that there might be something to fight for and to fight that current. And then they want to make laws against homeless people because they're unsightly. That might look bad for tourism, so it's illegal to be homeless. It's illegal to beg for change on the street. It's illegal to be stinky and a hobo. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's only going to get worse. That's why the earth is rejecting humanity. Humanity is a disease. Humanity is a virus. All it does is devour, destroy, and just, cause stench everywhere it goes. It even does it to itself. People are not just evil, they are evil in all dimensions. They are evil inwardly and outwardly. They're evil to each other, they're evil to themselves, they are evil unto God. They are evil. That's all they ever are. We don't need to believe in demons or jinn or robots or aliens to imagine evil. You just need to look at your typical person. And the worst part is, they don't even have the gall to show you they're evil. You have to wait for it. You have to wait till you're, down in the dirt when you're vulnerable, and then they'll show you their fangs. Because while you're up in their face, they'll give you a big fake smile. Howdy do, neighbor. But then when you need them, then they have all the time in the world to show you their cold black heart, don't they? Don't fucking tell me about the conspiracy, the NWO, the microchips implanted in our assholes. You'll take it all. You'll take it up the ass and you'll love every minute of it. And you'll bitch about it the entire time. But God forbid someone try to tell you otherwise. God forbid someone should tell you we should stand up for ourselves. God forbid someone should actually believe that we have rights and dignity. And that if you don't respect them, we'll fucking punch you in the throat. Because that might actually change something. Because that might actually change the tide. Just a little bit. You can't have that. You cannot have any transformation that would deviate from your evil world that you have become accustomed to and fallen in love with. You are infatuated with the evil, so I am infatuated with your utter destruction. See you later.